Panda Corner, Tech of the Week, Tweet of the Week. Welcome to GCN News.
From his win in 2004.
In today's show, we'll have a look at the news headlines, the Tour of Beijing, Paris Tours, and the opening round of the bpost Cyclo-cross series, as well as gazing in awe at the freeride mountain bikers in Utah at the Redbull Rampage. Tour de France 2014 to possibly include cobbles. Now, interestingly, leaks have just come out in the French press in relation to the parcours of the 2014 Tour. It could be very much like 2010 when the race was split to pieces as it went over the Paris-Roubaix terrain and obviously Franche-Lec crashed out. That would definitely affect rider rosters without a doubt. Also, Flescher and Pinotti to retire at the end of the season. Marco Pinotti, of course, is a multiple Italian time trial champion and wearer of the pink jersey in the Giro d'Italia and is affectionately known throughout the peloton as the Professor. Now, Juan Antonio Flescher, unusually for a Spaniard, is a bit of a specialist, as we all know, in the Northern Classics, having won Het Volk in the past and, of course, a stage in the Tour de France, as well as 3 times making the podium in Paris-Roubaix. Now, everyone at GCN wishes those guys a happy retirement. Now, Chris Horner, the Vuelta winner, is still without a contract as the season draws to a close. Now, he vented his fury on Twitter the other day with the suffix, "I did that." Now, he's claiming that he's still got 2 more years in the legs, but again, we'll see what happens. Now, the final World Tour race of the year, the Tour of Beijing, is currently underway in China, and stage 1 was taken out by none other than Thor Hushovd, the Norwegian champion from BMC, in a raging bunch sprint. Now, stages 2 and 3, the Tour of Beijing, were also sprint fests, and they were both taken out by Nasser Bouhanni of FDJ, the young sprint sensation, taking along the way the red leader's jersey. Now, the Queen stage of the race, stage 4, was taken by Movistar's Benat Inchausti. Now, the Spaniard attacked an elite group of approximately 20 riders with 2Ks to go after an early attack by David Lopez of Sky had been annulled. Now, Inchausti held on to finish alone by 3 seconds from a rapidly finishing Dan Martin, who just missed out, and Lopez held on for 3rd place. So, Inchausti goes into the final stage in the leader's red jersey. Now, Argos Shimano's other sprint star, John Degenkolb, took out the 107th edition of Paris Tour this weekend from a fast-finishing Michael Morkov of Saxo Tinkoff and young French speedster Armand Demar of FDJ after catching late attacker Jetse Bolo-Belkin with only 400 metres to go in a thrilling finale. Now, Belgian cyclo-cross legend, 37-year-old world champion Sven Nys of Creeland took out round 1 of the bpost Cyclocross Championships in Reims, Belgium this weekend. It was an absolutely mud-spattered affair. You could hardly recognise him when he crossed the line. And it was Nikki Harris, the British champion, who took the women's event and dedicated her win to Amy Dombrowski. Now, the notoriously death-defying Red Bull Rampage took place this weekend in Utah, and the 24-strong field were pushing themselves to the absolute limits to take down one of the most prestigious titles in freeride mountain biking. The event actually had to be abandoned during the second run due to high winds in the canyons at Virgin National Park. But Kyle Strait's first run was enough for him to be crowned Red Bull Rampage champion for the 2nd time, following victory in the same event in 2004. On October the 10th, at the Shrine of Remembrance in Jerusalem, Gino Bartali's name was inscribed on the Wall of Honour in the Garden of the Righteous. This was to honour and recognise the brave help Bartali gave to Holocaust survivors thanks to the false documents he provided. The 11th of October saw the first edition of the Granfondo Giro d'Italia Jerusalem. This amateur cycling event, which saw hundreds of fans pack the streets of Jerusalem, is first in a series of Granfondo events celebrating the Giro d'Italia and spreading the word of the Corsa Rosa throughout the world. Now, here at GCN, we've got our hands on these rather tasty, fully boxed up, nice and shiny Garmin Vector pedals. It's the first pedal system that measures power outputs, and the benefits, of course, being they're easily interchangeable and that power is measured for both legs for improved analysis. And watch out for Dan Lloyd's feature on these beauties coming up on GCN. Now, if you missed it last week, make sure you catch up on GCN's new feature, and the first of which Dan Lloyd takes a look at what makes up being a domestique.
Finally, the term super domestique refers to a rider who is one of the best in the world in his own right, capable of winning races himself, but who sometimes puts himself at the service of others. Think Fabian Cancellara at the 2013 Vuelta, Chris Froome at the 2012 Tour de France, Tony Martin riding for Mark Cavendish, or Jens Vogt at almost every other race of the season.
And just in case you mix it, make sure you check out our man on the ground in Beijing, Tom Grundy's feature on Panda Corner. It's awesome.
Panda Corner is the Chinese equivalent of Dutch Corner or Irish Corner. This is where the panda comes out to cheer on the riders.
Dan Martin, always good for a tweet is our Dan. Now he says, thanks to @Wouters for signing @PandaVelo for the rest of the season. #StartLineFun. Folks, this is going to run and run. Now remember, if you like it, and make sure you share our videos. That's it for this week. Back same time next week. Thanks for watching.
That seems like a lot of information to look for, but it's all interlinked, and before long, one quick glance will give you all the information you need. You should be scanning the road in front of you anyway, but it's particularly important